Oh yeah. The corrupt English VA industry just got destroyed. Well, I'm not surprised, to be frankly honest. Tell me something else, to be honest. Tell me something new, you know?
Nickelodeon has been hacked, and the hacker released the entire new Avatar movie, The Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender. The movie's release date was set for October 2026. The Avatar scandal just went from bad to worse. This is painful and one of the greatest tragedies in animation history. Overnight loss of control of over a decade of IP growth. I'm obsessed with the Avatar animation franchise, and this is just painful to see. Because based on what I've been seeing with these clips, the movie would have been mind-blowing. Marketing is messed up, they've lost control of their IP, and also I don't even know how they'll recover from this. If you are given the chance to watch the full movie, will you watch it now or still wait till October? Oh, by the way, Aang.
True, yeah. Pro ZD definitely messed up the VA industry. But he's not the only one though. All of them in the English VA clique or so is what ruined the English VA in general.
Is better than Korra. Was almost going to like this tweet, but I saw the last line. Cringe at hating on Korra. Oh, boo-hoo. But allow me to explain why this news is actually hilarious. You see, Paramount and Nickelodeon teamed up together making this new studio, Avatar Studios, specifically for the production of this movie. Avatar Studios then brings on this casting director, Jenny Ju, who, in a Reddit post from about a year ago, an AMA on our movies, admitted that they actually fired all of the original voice actors on ATLA.
Yeah, so I didn't know this, right? Because I don't keep track of movies and stuff like that and that part of the entertainment stuff. So apparently they fired all of the VAs and they hired new ones, and ProZD is on that roster with, they basically, because of the whole like, oh, we want to hire for like, you know, apparently they hired somebody to play tough or so who's actually blind and Asian or something like that, you know? English VA acting is the way they are, and the main reason why I watch sub versus dub. The shitty thing about it is that I used to do voice acting, right? I used to do some voice acting, but I mostly did like small projects of voice acting, but I mostly did like audiobook stuff. And the sad thing specifically that I wanted to get into this, right? But then after finding out or so, you know, I kind of fell out of it because of, you know, life and everything like that. So I have to come back to it and redo everything again. After learning what's been happening and what actually happens behind the scenes and why they don't hire you for certain reasons, right? I'm just kind of like, man, I'd rather go learn a different language from somewhere else and just learn that language and do voice acting in that specific country instead of doing it in the Western American. So
ATLA and replace them with new VAs specifically to push this quote-unquote authentic casting that we talked about on the channel before.
Authentic casting.
You know, the sort of thing where it's like, oh, a character of that race should voice a character of that race. But of course, there's always double standards with this. For example,
yeah, but I want to be hired for my talent, not hired because of the color of my skin or my background. I want to be hired because I'm fucking good at my job, not because I'm fucking bisexual and a fucking Latina, okay? I don't give a fuck about that. I want to be hired because I have I can do good fucking work, you know?
We'll say that a black character needs to be voiced by a black VA. But then they'll gladly have a black VA take the role of a Japanese character in anime, you know? It's always double standards like that. We also saw this with Chad's VA in Bleach. The man had stepped down. He gave up the role saying that Chad should go to a Mexican VA. Despite the fact that Chad is actually half.
That is the most dumbest thing ever. This is the only reason why I don't watch dub anime, because dub anime is a joke. Like, honestly, it really is. Like, there are some good VAs out there. Don't get me wrong. There are some good English VAs, but it's so few in between. I just don't even want to watch English dub, in my personal opinion. I really don't, so.
Mexican, half Japanese, but nevertheless, this is what the guy did. Now, if you follow Bleach, you probably know that Chad really doesn't have many lines ever anyways, especially in 1,000 Year Blood War. Bro has like maybe 2 lines. So this VA was really not giving up much at all. I want to get back into it, though. He probably knew he was barely going to make any money if he continued voicing Chad in 1,000 Year Blood War, and decided it was better for him to make this public virtue signal to try to win some favor with the corrupt English VA industry, because at the top of the industry, SAG-AFTRA click and all that, they very much so push things
Well,
like
they have a pretty
authentic
good
casting
setup
and
for voice
DEI.
acting, that's why.
Unfortunately for him, anime
Not
fans
amazing,
saw
but
right
I got
through
a
it.
pretty good
And people began to ask him, well, hey, does this mean you're never going to voice an anime character again then, since most of them are Japanese? You know what this guy said? He said, well, that's different. I'm still going to voice anime characters even if it's a Japanese character. It's different. And it was like, bro, this is such an obvious double standard. These people are so fake. Anyways, let's return to the ATLA movie news. And this cat.
The only reason why is because they want to have the most roles and they want to get paid the most or so. That's why they want the authentic casting, because they want to shun out a bunch of other people that have those roles already, and they want to be in there, even though their voice acting skills are terrible compared to the ones that are already have been staple already. So,
Casting director Jenny Ju, who I mentioned, made this statement about why they fired the old VAs, and they are bringing on these new VAs for authentic casting purposes. First, the context. This user says, hello, thank you for the AMA. I have a couple of questions regarding the Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. One, is there any reason why you guys decided not to bring the original cast back for the ultimate nostalgia trip? The characters' voices are just so iconic and distinct, I find it hard to really accept anyone else in their roles. Plus, promoting the movie with the original actors coming back would break the internet and truly feel like the original show's back. And two, is there anything you can tease about the new movie, or when we will maybe get a first look? It's just been so dead silent that I don't even believe it's real until I see it. It's just my favorite franchise, so I'm very protective of it. I'm excited to see what the movie has in store, even though I'm not a fan of the recasting. I'll try my hardest to be open-minded. I just really wanted to hear the original cast voicing these characters one more time for their last hurrah. That takes us to Jenny Ju's response, where she says, I told Mike and Brian that I understood how important it was to get this right for them and for the fans, because I'm a fan too. Also my favorite IP. Since the original show was released, there's been more emphasis in VO, voiceover, to match actors' ethnic/racial background to the characters they're portraying. ATLA is a fictional world, but there are cultural influences for each nation/kingdom, and we want—
in voice acting, your talent or how good you do a role is what should make you get hired. Not because the color of your fucking skin. Or the fucking background of your race. If that's the only reason why I want to open up a game studio, but then have a voice acting studio within the game studio, so I have full control of who we hire for voice actors. If your acting is shit, I will call you out that it's not that great. That's all I gotta say. Like literally straight up, I'd be like, look, you're just not for the role, okay? I don't care about your color of your skin. I don't care that my character is a black character and you're black as well, but your voice acting is just not that good. If there's literally a freaking white guy who performs 10 times better for the black character, I'm gonna choose him, okay? Because he sells the part. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care. I'm hiring voice actors. I'm not hiring people by the color of their skin. I'm hiring of how good their talented voices are, how good their acting skills are, and how well they can portray the character. How well can, they fit in their shoes. That's it. That's literally how I see voice acting in general. But if you're just hiring people with like their ethnic racial thing, I don't want a part of that. I don't, because that's a conglomeration of fucking shit that I don't want to mess with. I'd rather go into voice acting where literally straight up they hire me because I can do a really good job in the voices that I do. Not because I got hired because I got hired because of my color of my skin. I don't want that personally. So no thank you.
Wanted to explore the talent from those groups. I can't say much more about it in the film, except I'm really proud of this cast, and I hope the other fans keep an open mind to this new iteration of our beloved characters. She's really going to talk about how important it is to get things right and for the fans, and go on to justify replacing the old VAs with these new authentically casted VAs. I mean, come on, what kind of ridiculous gaslighting is that? And you gotta love how even on Reddit, this statement got 0 upvotes, and someone else actually responded, got 7 upvotes, and the mods removed that response. Completely typical Reddit mod moment right there. Adult Toph Beifong will be voiced by Dion Kwan, a legally blind performer. Kwan is known for her work on Rugrats, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Bratz. I have no idea who this person is, but okay. And her casting has been widely praised for its meaningful representation. Rarely widely praised from who? I've never seen anyone talk about this person until literally today.
I've never heard
Her
of this
real-life
person.
experience brings
Well,
an
I don't
added
really
layer of
watch anything
authenticity
like
to Toph,
American
one of the most
related
iconic
stuff,
characters in
so.
the Avatar universe. Look, I can respect what she's got going on and still doing her best to make a living, but like, miss us with this virtue signal nonsense. Another comment about the recasting reading, still super sad about the recasting. This was a very bad decision on their part, and they're going to regret it. You know, it's so funny how this aged, considering that the whole movie ended up getting leaked, which I'm not saying is obviously, you know, directly the result of this, but it is like, what's the saying? Karmic justice in a way. I don't know if that's the right saying, but you know, you get the point. Comment says,
this is the reason why I like Japanese voice actors a lot more, because they're respected. And, you know, when they did a character, they usually hire the same voice actor who did that character before. Compared to how it is now, you know, they just hire a different voice actor because of the color of their skin. Or the ethnicity that they are, you know?
the vast majority of people don't care about trying to fit the right racial voice actors to their characters because none of these races are even real. They're all inspired in mashups of races and don't even exist. A ton of fans are going to be extremely disappointed and lose interest. It would be different if they weren't picking back up where they left off, like if the characters were older adults, but they're not. So it's going to cause a lot of backlash. Some good points in that comment, but I do disagree with the last part saying if they were older adults, it's different. First of all, I think the movie will have them as adults, at least at some point or throughout the whole movie. I'm not sure the specifics, but they will apparently be adults in the movie. But that doesn't matter. Voice actors can make themselves sound older. Plus, you know, they literally are significantly older now compared to when ATLA was airing, so to me that's a moot point. Aside from that though, pretty good points in that comment, and the part where the user talks about how none of these races are even real, and sure they were inspired and are mashups of some real races, but you know, the actual races in ATLA don't exist because it's not real life. I was getting total flashbacks to Genshin Impact, where the couch activist Twitter caught portion of the Genshin community, or Hoyoverse community, was getting all mad about both Sumeru and Natlon, saying stuff like, oh my gosh, Natlon is literally Africa. And it's like, dude, it's not real. This is not real life. Let's check out this response really quick. It says, yup, the voices are what made the characters in the first place, and recasting them because a few people combined saying the skin color of the VA should match the character is stupid. It's voice acting. People who are fans of the show want to hear the original characters' voices again in the new show. Not a bunch of other people who likely don't sound the same and were picked because of something that doesn't matter in voice acting like skin color. Nothing
really
but
doesn't matter.
optics that, just from a few looks on Twitter and YouTube, has successfully ticked off a lot of fans of the show, making it very likely this will not do well. And once again, how this has aged, considering that the whole thing ended up getting leaked on the internet. Apparently it's all over TikTok right now too. It was on Twitter. A lot of those clips got DMCA'd.
It's literally still on Twitter to this day. My timeline feed sometimes shows the Avatar movie. It still shows up. Like, they're not gonna stop this, in my personal opinion.
I don't know if they're still up on TikTok, but yeah, a lot of people have seen this already, and many more still will before it's officially released. So that is the latest. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Like, I want to get back into voice acting, but man, dude, I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm kind of like, you should get back into it, and then sometimes I'm like, no, you really shouldn't. This is kind of a bit of like one false move or so, and then it's just gonna go downhill, especially with what's happening over there at least. But maybe for smaller projects I'd probably do it for, you know, maybe not for big projects, like something like that or so, even though I would like to have my voice in a video game. I think in a video game is what I want to have it the most in. Not really much in cartoons or anything like that, or anime. I think I'd rather have it in towards games. I think that's something that I enjoy the most, you know. So yeah, but we will see. We'll see. We'll see what happens, to be honest. I haven't seen the movie or anything like that, but I have been seeing it popped up on my timeline feed though. Um but we can definitely see if that actually comes out to be real. So yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And honestly, English VA industry is just, it's not it, chief. That it's gonna take a while for that entire industry to get cleaned up, to be honest. You need an actual like second party to combat against this corruption in the English VA, where it's its own thing, and they hire actual good voice actors on their actual good job or so, instead of hiring people for the color of their skin. That's basically it. So yeah, but that's gonna take a while until somebody actually makes their own company or their own, their own type of thing to combat against us. Until then, we're just gonna have to deal with this for now, at least. But I don't really listen to much English VA anyway, so I'd rather listen to any other. I'd rather listen to it in Spanish, in my personal opinion. I rather prefer hearing it in European English or Spanish or Japanese. That's it. So I don't want to hear it in American English. I just really don't. There's a few. There's like a handful of English VAs that I like personally, but the problem is like it's very few in between, and that's kind of like the shitty thing about it, you know. Like I want to give praise or so to some of the English VAs, but the problem is like the bad apples in that specific industry is ruining it for everyone else. So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. And it sucks to suck. I will be honest with you, it sucks to suck. And peace.